The grass is perfect. That's the first thing you notice. 90,500 people are making a sound that isn't quite noise, it's pressure, a physical thing, something you feel in your back teeth and the base of your sternum. Brazil versus Argentina. MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. The 2026 World Cup Final, 90 minutes played, score 1-1. And the referee is pointing to the spot. 11 meters, that's all. The distance between you and everything your life has been building toward since you were 9 years old. You pick up the ball. It is heavier than any ball has ever been. The goalkeeper is looking at you from the line. 90,500 people are holding their breath. Let's go to the beginning, which led to this moment. Level 1, the streets of Jardim Esperança. Sao Paulo, Brazil, 2009. The pitch has no name. It's a rectangle of cracked concrete behind the Igreja Nossa Senhora de Paz on Rua das Flores, in the Jardim Esperança favela on the western edge of Sao Paulo, a city of 22 million people, most of whom have never heard of this street and never will. The left goalpost is a drain pipe that comes out of the church wall at a slight angle. The right goalpost is a chalk line that gets redrawn every Saturday morning by whoever arrives first. The ball is half deflated, patched twice with electrical tape, and bounces at angles that surprise everyone, including the ball. You are 9 years old, you are barefoot. This is level 1. Sunday afternoons smell like churrasco, the charcoal and fat and garlic of someone's grill 3 balconies up, drifting down over the concrete like a blessing. The church wall is warm from a full day of Sao Paulo sun, and when you strike the ball against it, it makes a sound, a flat, solid thwack, that carries all the way to the end of the street where your mother's leaning out of apartment 3B calling your name in the specific register that means dinner is ready, and this is the last time she's calling. You don't go in. Not yet. There are 17 touches left in this sequence you've been working on: a turn, a step over, a drag back, a finish into the bottom corner of the drain pipe goal, and you haven't completed it cleanly yet. You won't eat until you complete it cleanly. Your feet are hard from years of this. The concrete at noon is hot enough to blister a normal person. You don't feel it anymore, not really. The older boys on the street know what you can do. Tiago, 14, who everyone says will play for Corinthians someday. Edu, 16, Marco, 13, who is good but not exceptional and knows it and resents you for making the comparison so obvious just by existing. Football in Jardim Esperança is not a hobby. It is the only local economy that has ever produced a way out. The streets can name them: Adriano, Ronaldo, Robinho. They left and they became something that the streets could hold up as evidence that the ceiling could be broken, that the concrete wasn't permanent. Your mother cleans houses in the Jardins neighborhood 6 days a week. She leaves at 5:30 in the morning and comes home at 7 at night smelling like bleach and expensive fabric conditioner. She earns 800 reais a month. She has never once complained about this in your presence, which is the most heroic thing you have ever witnessed, and you won't have the words for it for another 15 years. Your father left when you were 4. You have one photograph of him. The ball hits the drainpipe goal. Clean. You go in for dinner. You don't know it yet, but this is the last year this will be enough. Level 2, the trials. Esporte Clube Juventude Youth Academy, AV, President Vargas, Sao Paulo, October 2009. Your mother tells you on a Wednesday. She cannot afford boots. The trials are Saturday. The gap between Wednesday and Saturday contains exactly 0 reais and 0 solutions, and she tells you this the way she tells you all hard things, directly, without softening it, because softening hard things is a luxury that Rua das Flores cannot afford. You find electrical tape in the kitchen drawer. On Saturday morning at 6 o'clock you wrap both feet, arch, heel, the joints of the toes with 3 layers of black tape, pull on a pair of white socks over the top and take the bus to AV, President Vargas. This is level 2. 43 boys, every single one has real boots. Nikes, Adidas, Puma, beautiful boots, expensive boots, boots that their parents bought them as a promise that they belonged here. Every single boot except yours, which are not boots at all but are instead the sheer refusal to be stopped by the absence of boots. The scout's name is Rodrigo Alves. He's 52 years old, wearing a Juventude polo shirt with a coffee stain below the second butt, a pen behind his left ear, a clipboard in his right hand. He has been doing this for 24 years. He has seen 1,000 boys with 1,000 variations of the same hunger, and most of them are gone now, back to the concrete, back to the warehouses, back to the street corners. The ones who made it, he remembers not by their talent but by something else. Something in the way they watch the ball. He notices you immediately. Not the tape, though he notices the tape, but something deeper. The way you position your body 3 seconds before the ball even arrives, already angled for the next move, already reading what nobody else has read yet. He writes something on his clipboard. At the 34th minute of the session, you receive the ball with your back to goal on the right side. And without thinking, because the best touches are never thought, you spin away from the defender and cut inside and bend a shot that curves through the air like it knows exactly where the goal is and places itself in the top corner. Rodrigo Alves stops writing. He just watches. He doesn't write anything else for the remaining 26 minutes. That afternoon, your mother signs the registration papers. You are a Juventude youth player. The commute is 2 hours each way by bus 3 times a week. Your mother adds a Tuesday night cleaning shift to cover the bus fare. You find out about the night shift 8 months later, and you carry it in your chest like a stone for years. The stone never fully dissolves, you just learn to walk without showing the weight. Level 3, the Academy. Juventude Youth Academy, Sao Paulo, 2010-2014. Real boots arrive 6 weeks into your first season. They are donated, a collection drive the Academy does every year for scholarship players. Yours are a pair of Adidas Copa Mundials, black leather, 2 sizes too large, stuffed at the toe with rolled newspaper to make them fit. You wear them for 4 years. You are the only player in the academy history to request newspaper instead of tissue paper. This is level 3. The academy world has its own gravity. The boys from the rich neighborhoods arrive in their father's cars with kit bags that match their boots. You arrive by bus at 6:47 in the morning smelling of a 2-hour commute, a specific kind of tired that no deodorant fully covers. You don't say this is unfair. Fairness is a concept for people with options. His name is Felipe Drummond. His father is a dentist. He starts calling you O Descalzo, the barefoot one, in the 3rd week, and it spreads through the squad like a virus with a single carrier. Everyone knows it's wrong, but nobody stops it because stopping costs social currency nobody wants to spend. You say nothing. You develop instead a ritual. After every training session, when the other boys have gone home, you stay on the pitch alone and complete 500 touches, sequences, patterns, combinations you've been cataloging in a notebook since you were 10. A coach named Evandro catches you doing this at 7:30 at night on a Tuesday in February and says nothing, just watches from the tunnel entrance for 11 minutes before going home. At 13, something happens. Your dribbling changes. It's not that you get faster, you were already fast. It's that you start making the ball do exactly what you intend at exactly the moment you intend it, and it looks so simple and so effortless that people stop realizing how much work that is. Coach Evandro stops a practice session one afternoon and makes everyone watch you for 3 minutes. Nobody says anything afterward. Even Felipe Drummond says nothing. Then October 2014, you are 14 years old. The club secretary calls you into the office. The room smells like printer ink and hard news. They are releasing you, too small, too slow, they wish you well. The bus home takes 2 hours and 14 minutes. You count every minute. You say nothing for all of them. That night you go back to Rua das Flores and you do 500 touches alone in the dark until your hands can't feel the ball anymore and your feet are bleeding slightly inside the tape and you don't stop. This is the moment that separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't, and you don't know which one you are yet. Level 4, the second chance. CT Ray Pelé Training Ground, Santos FC, Sao Paulo State, November 2014. The club is Santos. Pelé's club, the club of the greatest player who ever lived, which means the ground you're about to trial on has absorbed enough greatness that it's practically part of the air. Your mother takes a day off work, 130 reais she cannot afford, and rides the 80-kilometer bus journey with you because she has decided without discussing it that this is a day she will be present for. This is level 4. Your boots are second-hand, bought from a boy 2 streets over on Rua das Flores who grew out of them, 1 size too small. There's a crack running along the left sole that you've sealed with super glue and hope. The CT Ray Pelé has murals on the walls. One of them is Pelé, 17 years old, lifting the 1958 World Cup. He is younger in that photograph than you are right now. You look at it for 4 seconds. You go to warm up. There are 28 boys in this trial. 30 minutes in, 3 coaches have drifted from the far touchline to the near touchline, not writing anything, not talking to each other, just watching a 14-year-old boy do things with a football that seem to violate the basic rules of physics. Santos signs you that afternoon. The dormitory is on the training ground. You move in 3 weeks later with a bag that contains 4 changes of clothes and your touch notebook. Your mother cries at the bus stop when you leave. You learn not to look back. You look back. Level 5, turning professional. Estadio Vila Belmiro, Santos, April 12, 2017. Your name is on the substitutes board in the 77th minute. You are 17 years old, 67 kilograms, wearing a Santos number 22 shirt that the kit man had to take in at the sides because it kept slipping. The Copa do Brasil, Santos versus Flamengo, 0-0. The crowd of 16,000 sounds like an engine running at half power. This is level 5. You come on for Matthias Silva in the 78th minute, and for 11 minutes you do the work that makes the work possible. You press, you hold, you are a professional footballer now, the ground is real. Then the 89th minute. You receive the ball from Lucas Ferreira, just inside your own half, with your back to the Flamengo goal and 2 defenders marking you. What happens next takes 11 seconds and will be shown on Brazilian sports television for the next week. You turn the first defender with a double stepover executed at a speed where the stepover and the exit move blur into a single action. The second defender commits, and you're already past him, running at an angle that opens up space, and then the shot, with the outside of your right foot at full stride from 25 meters, bends away from the goalkeeper's reach and into the top corner with the specific arc of something that wasn't calculated but was felt. The commentator says, "Impossible, impossible, impossible." The crowd of 16,000 says your name. You have never heard your name said by 16,000 people simultaneously. Senior football also has a different contract with your body than the academy did. The first serious tackle comes in your 4th appearance, a center back from Botafogo who has not come to Vila Belmiro to admire your technique. The tackle is legal barely, and it sends you into the advertising board and keeps you on the ground for 4 minutes while the physio works on your ankle. You get up, you play on. Your agent arrives 3 months later. His name is Marcelo Costa. He is 41, wears suits in shades of confidence, smells like success has a scent, and takes 15% of everything you will ever earn, which at this point is not much but which he assures you will be considerably more soon. The first big contract comes in June 2018. The numbers are more than your mother has earned in her entire working life. That afternoon you call a real estate agent. The apartment on Riwa Augusta has 2 bedrooms, a proper kitchen, a view of the park. Your mother has never had a view. When you show her the keys, her face does something that you will spend the rest of your life trying to find the right words for. That face is the reason. That has always been the reason. Level 6 Europe. Sporting CP Lisbon, Portugal, July 2019. The transfer fee is 4.2 million euros. The temperature in Lisbon in January is 8 degrees. Sao Paulo in January is 32 degrees. Your body registers this as a personal betrayal. This is level 6, and it is the level that almost breaks you before it makes you. Your Portuguese arrives in Lisbon and is received with amusement. Your variation on the language, charming in small doses, the way a cover version is received by someone who loves the original. You are lonely in a way that has a specific geography. The loneliness of being surrounded by people and still eating dinner alone because the social codes aren't yours yet. The football is harder here, the space is smaller, the structure is tighter. The demands are specific and relentless and communicated in a language you're learning at the same time as you're supposed to be executing it. Your body is right, your football mind needs rewiring. For 8 months you scored twice in 22 appearances. The Portuguese press, creative, merciless, historically experienced in disappointment, writes that Santos sold Sporting a highlights reel and kept the footballer. One columnist calls you O Fantasma Brasileiro, the Brazilian ghost. You print this and put it on your dormitory wall without irony. You need it to stay angry. The click happens on a Tuesday morning in February 2020. You are running a rotation drill where the space is always changing and something in your reading of the game recalibrates. You stop reacting to where the ball is and start moving to where the ball will be. It is the difference between translation and thinking directly in the language, and it happens in a single training session with the completeness of something that was always there. The second half of the season, 19 goals in 28 appearances. The transfer offers arrive like letters from a world that has suddenly realized it made an administrative error by not knowing your name sooner. For clubs, you choose the German club, not the highest bidder. The club with the project, the style of play, the tactical culture that makes your brain light up. Rodrigo Alves, watching from his apartment in Sao Paulo, reads the news on his phone and allows himself a single nod. Level 7 The Celeste. Estadio do Maracana, Rio de Janeiro, March 2020. The shirt is yellow. Not the yellow of anything else. The yellow of the Canarinha is its own specific frequency, and when you pull it over your head in the tunnel of the Maracana at 20 years old for the first time, your hands are not entirely steady. This is level 7. The tunnel has murals. Pelé lifting the 1958 World Cup at 17. Ronaldo in 2002, arms wide. Ronaldinho in 2005, the smile that made defenders question their life choices. They are not looking at you, they are looking at whoever stands here next, and right now that is you. The Seleção dressing room is a political ecosystem wearing football boots. Veterans control the music, the seating, the informal power structures that no team meeting ever acknowledges, and everyone navigates constantly. You are the new kid from Sao Paulo in a squad that has its own history, its own gravity, and your first instinct is to work first and speak later. Your first goal for Brazil comes in the 67th minute of your third appearance, a friendly against Colombia at the Maracana. Free kick, 27 meters out, slightly left of center. You take 3 steps back and run up and strike the ball with your left instep, generating a rotation that pulls it up over the wall and then down and in. The Maracana makes a sound. It is not a sound, it is a physical event, 73,000 people converting oxygen into something that hits your chest from 27 meters away and vibrates everything inside you. You spend the rest of your career trying to recreate that sound, and you get close, but you never get it exactly because the first time is the only time it can be the first time. Level 8 The weight of the nation. Brazil, Qatar, and the long road back, 2022-2025. Brazil's love is enormous and specific and completely conditional. This is not a criticism. This is a meteorological observation about the climate you've chosen to play in. The nation loves you the way it loves all its great players, totally, fiercely, and with the implicit understanding that the love is a contract with performance clauses. This is level 8, and it is the level that costs the most. You are 22 years old at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Brazil are favorites, which in Brazilian football means the expectation has cured into something closer to concrete than hope. The squad is exceptional. The football through the group stage and the round of 16 is the kind that makes you believe this is finally the year, that the 20-year drought ends here, that you are the player the country has been waiting for. The quarterfinal is Croatia, 90 minutes 1-1, extra time 1-1, penalties. You are the fourth taker. You place the ball on the spot. You know your process, the ritual you've run 1,000 times. You run, you strike, you put it straight down the middle with enough height to clear a diving goalkeeper. The goalkeeper doesn't dive. Dominik Livakovic stays on the line. The freeze frame of your face in the moment of comprehension, the specific expression of a man understanding that the thing he feared most has just happened in front of the largest audience of his life, is on the front page of every newspaper the next morning. The television replays it 14 times in the immediate aftermath. Social media becomes something you cannot look at. But here's what happens after that moment of missing. The devastation is total. You sit on the bench for the rest of extra time and the rest of penalties and watch your teammates complete the journey you cannot complete. The press photographs you after, and your expression is something beyond disappointment. It's a kind of hollow that only missing at that moment in front of that crowd can create. It's the look of someone who understands that they will spend years trying to atone for this single 11 seconds. The pressure multiplies. You become not a player but a symbol, the symbol of everything Brazil failed at. The symbol of the nation's weight. Every newspaper carries your face, every social media post dissects your penalty, people follow you in the street, they ask why, they ask how, they ask things that have no answers. Your mother calls that night and says nothing for a full minute, just breathes. The reconstruction takes 2 years. You work with a sports psychologist twice a week for 18 months. You learn embarrassingly late that the mental architecture of penalty taking is distinct and has to be built separately, deliberately, with the same discipline you apply to everything else. You take 200 penalties a week for 16 weeks in the offseason alone, on practice pitches in the Brazilian winter, in the specific deliberate coldness of someone rebuilding something they broke in front of the world. The ball stops feeling like a bomb. It starts feeling like a decision. Brazil qualify for the 2026 World Cup with you as captain. The armband is real leather and it weighs approximately 40 kilograms because weight is not always physical, and you know this better than most. You are 25 years old and you have already been broken and rebuilt once, which is either a warning or a credential, and you have decided it is a credential. Level 9, the final. MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, July 19, 2026. 95,000 people. 400 million watching in Brazil alone. The numbers are abstract until you're standing in the tunnel and you can hear the stadium before you can see it, not a roar but a pressure system, a weather event, the sound of 95,000 people deciding that this 90 minutes matters more than anything else on earth. This is level 9. This is what everything has been building toward. Argentina score first in the 23rd minute, a Martinez header from a corner that the Brazilian defense will be reviewing on film until they die. The goal goes in and the stadium redistributes itself, and for a moment the green and gold half is very quiet in a way that has texture and weight. Brazil's equalizer comes in the 61st minute. You are the architect, not the scorer, the architect. You receive the ball on the right, 40 meters from goal, check onto your left, find a channel that does not yet exist but will exist in exactly the moment you release the ball. Vinicius takes one touch and finishes. The green and gold half of the stadium becomes a weather event of its own. 1-1. The game tightens, Argentina play deep, Brazil probe, the ball moves between 22 men with the shared understanding that whoever makes the decisive mistake will carry it forever. Tackles come in hard, the game gets smaller, the space gets tighter, every touch feels like it might be the one. The 88th minute. Fernandinho receives the ball in the Argentine box. He takes a touch. Argentine defender Marcos Ruiz makes contact, leg, not ball, clear enough that every person with a direct sightline sees it before the referee does. The half second before the whistle is the loudest silence in the history of the sport. The whistle blows. The referee points to the spot. And every single person in that stadium, 95,000 of them, and every single person watching in Brazil, 400 million, performs the same calculation simultaneously. You will take this penalty. You. The man whose face was a newspaper front page for the wrong reason. The man who missed in Qatar. You walk to the ball. The walk from where you were standing to the penalty spot is 11 meters. You have walked this distance 1,000 times on 1,000 grounds, on the cracked concrete of Rua das Flores, on the academy pitches, on the stadiums of Europe, in dreams at 3 in the morning. You know this distance like you know your own name. You pick up the ball. It weighs more than any ball has ever weighed. You place it on the spot. The goalkeeper is staring at you from the line. His name is Gonzalo Montiel. He is Argentine. He is 27 years old. He has studied you. He knows you take penalties to the right approximately 67% of the time. He knows your run-up. He knows everything there is to know about you except whether you're the man who missed in Qatar or the man who learned from it. You take 4 steps back, 1 to the left. The stadium makes no sound. Your mother is watching from a bar in Sao Paulo with friends and strangers. Felipe Drummond is watching from his home in Sao Paulo, the same city you grew up in, the city that built you. Rodrigo Alves is watching from his apartment, the man who saw something in you when you were 9 years old with electrical tape on your feet. Dr. Cavalcanti's voice is very quiet in the specific part of your mind where you've put it. A decision, not a hope. The 200 penalties in the off-season winter, the nights you thought you couldn't do this, the mornings you woke up and did it anyway. Your mother's silence on the phone after Qatar. The newspaper front pages. The social media that made you want to disappear. All of it leads to this moment, this 11 meters, this singular geometry of grass and goal and possibility. You look at the goalkeeper, he shifts his weight almost imperceptibly to the left. You have noted this, you have made your decision. The decision was made 6 weeks ago when you identified this pattern in hours of goalkeeper footage. This moment is not a decision. This moment is the execution of a decision that is already complete. You run. The run-up is 5 strides, controlled, not rushed, the rhythm of something practiced until it became breathing. Your right boot, your signature boot, your name stitched into the tongue in white thread, the boot you designed with a manufacturer, your boot, your name makes contact with the lower right quadrant of the ball at the precise angle that generates the trajectory you need. The ball travels. For a moment it is just a ball in air. The goalkeeper goes left. The ball goes right, low, hard inside the post. The net moves. For one complete second, one full, unbroken second, the stadium makes no sound. Then it makes every sound. You do not run, you do not wheel away with your arms out, you drop. Both knees hit the MetLife Stadium grass simultaneously. Your hands come up and cover your face, both hands pressing against your eyes, and you make a sound that the cameras cannot pick up over the stadium noise, but that travels to Sao Paulo and reaches your mother in a bar with her hands pressed against her mouth, and reaches Felipe Drummond in his living room, and reaches Rodrigo Alves in his apartment where he is standing with his hand on his chest. The sound is not triumph. The sound is collapse. The sound is a 9-year-old boy on Rua das Flores with electrical tape on his feet being released from the weight of everything he has carried. You are 26 years old and you are that boy at the same time. The celebration happens around you, your teammates pour onto the field, they lift you up. You are carried on their shoulders to the center of the stadium while 95,000 people make a sound that is beyond sound, that is pure release, that is the moment a nation stops holding its breath. The final whistle blows. Brazil 2, Argentina 1. Everything stops. The trophy presentation happens in a blur. The president of FIFA hands you the trophy, the World Cup, the actual World Cup, the thing that has been the dream since you were 9 years old. And for a moment you cannot hold it because your hands are shaking so severely that you think you might drop the most important object in the history of football. Then you understand this moment right now, the shaking, the tears, the incomprehension of it, this is what it was all for. You lift the trophy above your head. The stadium explodes. The green and gold flag waves from 95,000 hands. In Brazil, 400 million people are standing up. In Jardim Esperança on Rua das Flores, 340 people are screaming at a projector screen outside the Igreja Nossa Senhora de Paz. The church wall, the same wall you bounced a half-deflated ball against at 9 years old, is illuminated by the light of screens and phones and the tears of people who grew up on streets that never had a chance. You stand there holding the trophy and you understand finally, you are not just holding this for yourself. You are holding it for your mother, who cleaned houses for 800 reais a month. You are holding it for the electrical tape on your feet. You are holding it for the 2-hour bus rides. You are holding it for Rodrigo Alves and his clipboard and the moment he stopped writing. You are holding it for every boy on Rua das Flores who played on concrete until his feet bled. You are holding it for the version of yourself that got released at 14 and didn't stop. You are holding it for missing in Qatar and surviving it. You are holding it for your mother's silence on that phone call. You are holding it for the decision to come back. The trophy is real, the weight of it is real. The 400 million people watching in Brazil are real, the 9 years of work from the moment you had nothing are real. You bring the trophy down and hold it against your chest. And for a moment, just a moment but enough, you are a boy again, barefoot on Rua das Flores with the whole world ahead and everything to prove. The difference is now you have proven it. To all of them, to yourself, to the concrete that tried to keep you.